Welcome everybody to our coach interview with the absolutely wonderful Ed Stanley. Ed, I want to say thank you so much for being here today and taking your time to have this space and this conversation with me. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, Paul, for inviting me. I'm looking forward to the next couple of minutes having a conversation with you around everything that I love, which is coaching. So,
excellent. Looking forward to hearing more. So, just for the benefit of our audience, could you like to tell them a little bit about who Ed Stanley is and what got you into coaching in the first place?
of course, yeah. So, as Paul mentioned, my name is Ed Stanley. I'm based out of Dublin, Ireland, and I classify myself as a leadership and mindset coach. I've been in this space doing coaching probably for the last 2 years, but I'm also working in the corporate world for the last 23 years. So lots of experience in coaching people in a leadership capacity. So I've been a leader probably for the last 9 years, being a senior manager and a manager. And I get the luxury to work at LinkedIn, which is one of my big passions as well. So that goes really well with my coaching as I, expose myself on LinkedIn to the different things that are available. But what got me into coaching really was really to help people grow and develop. There was times during my career where I had somebody who helped me to grow and develop, and I always wanted to really pass that back to other people as they come through the ranks and really get to really understand what coaching is for me, which is really unlocking the best versions of yourself. So that's kind of what drew me into the coaching area. And since then, I've been obsessed with coaching. Absolutely love it. So.
Excellent. And I see you do a lot of posts. I know that you're quite passionate about the use of values as well. A couple of posts I've seen around using values in your coaching.
Yeah. So values. Yes. Sorry, Paul.
I was just going to say, how did you get how do you bring that into your coaching practice?
Yeah, so great question. So I initially got accredited with an organization called the World Association of Coaching with Neuroscience, which basically means is my practice is underpinned by really your head, your heart, and your gut values. And that's where I kind of do a lot of my work. It's about how we manage our energy levels, but how we regulate our systems, but also co-regulate with our coaching and our coachees. So values is something that I've always been passionate about. I've lived off my own values and they've guided me. They say that your perceptions and your actions are guided by your values and your decisions, and that's where I see myself. And then during my coaching previously, I would have been introduced to Dr. John Demartini, who has had a real kind of profound effect on me. And I tried to bring some of his frameworks in, but also put my own kind of spin on what values look like. So I will start most of my coaching sessions with a values and alignment, and then we take it from there with my clients to see where they want to kind of touch on next or where areas they want to explore. But you have a huge passion when it comes to all things values.
And I've seen some of your work that you do. It's absolutely wonderful. And I really resonate with that in terms of how we need to understand our values and align ourselves and let them pull us forward in life. Thank you for sharing that. Really, really great stuff. And you've been with us at Coaching Minds for about, was it December time you joined us? December, January?
Yeah, I think it was roughly around that time, November, December, I think, when I officially signed up for Coaching Minds.
Yeah. So just wondering, what was it that attracted you to Coaching Minds?
Yeah, very honestly, the first thing that attracted to me was the affordability. So I was looking for courses that were accredited by EMCC. That was the organization I wanted to move forward with, rather than a couple of the other organizations. And one of the main reasons is that I'm also a mentor. So I bring that into my practice, which is coaching and mentoring. And obviously the EMCC covers both. And I came across Coaching Minds after doing a lot of research, and to be honest with you, I didn't believe that the price was the price. And then I actually got to speak to you, and I was just blown away that, you were providing a service that was affordable, and your mission statement really resonated with me, where, coaching is about helping people to grow and develop and giving them that access to be able to do that. And because, true coaches that are in this field aren't in it necessarily to make money or quick money, because you're not going to do that within coaching. It's really about a vocation to really kind of care about and protect and look after the people you work with. And Coaching Minds just that was just screaming at me. So initially it was the affordability, but since then it's been a number of other things that have kept me here at Coaching Minds. So
excellent, and thank you for choosing us, Ed. And I really appreciate you mentioning affordability, because we do. A lot of people don't believe, think we're some kind of scam because of how cheap we actually are. But our mission is to make coaching affordable and accessible across the globe. And one of the ways in which we can do that is removing that barrier for people who might not be able to afford it. We're going through difficult times in the economy, as a lot of us can see. So how do we help and support that, and get coaching into areas where people really, really need that support? So really, really glad that the values align there. So thank you for sharing that. And during your time on our program, so you've been November, December, January, February, about 4 or 5 months now with us. What is it that you've enjoyed the most about what we do at Coaching Minds?
Yeah, so I'm going to just remove the flexibility piece and being able to do it online with a kind of a hybrid kind of approach where we have in person, well, not in person, but virtual classes. So that has been brilliant for me, because that fits around my busy schedule. And that was also something I was looking to gain. But for me, and I wasn't expecting this, because let's go back to the affordability piece. I felt that, once I sign up, that it's very much just follow the material, not much engagement. But I was blown away by the community at Coaching Minds, where a lot of like-minded people like myself, and including yourself, Paul, where you're very active in the community and always looking to improve it. And to now, I check in every day. Coaching Minds has become part of my daily habit, right? Where, I go in there for support. I sometimes go in there when you're doubting yourself also as a coach, and you have great people around you. And it's just that kind of support feeling that everyone is in it together. And I wasn't expecting that, and I'll be totally honest. And I wasn't expecting the kind of the layout of the app, how advanced it is, and the course itself. And I was expecting to have a trade-off with the price that I was paying was versus the kind of the output that I got. But I can't recommend that piece enough. So for me, it's the community, to the point where you could finish the course in 6 months, but I'm happy to stay because I love that connection piece, right? But that's what I also love about the Coaching Minds piece, is that initially when I signed up, I was hoping to finish the course in 6 months. But I know we will be there for the 12. But now my kind of plans have changed with my work environment, my family environment, that I now have more time to put into the Coaching Minds courses, and it doesn't hinder me from my kind of growth, right? It's actually really helping me to grow even further. So I was expecting just to come in, get the course, leave, and say goodbye. I've come in and I've made lots of connections, and that's what I'm really about as a coach, is those human connections, and so many great connections behind that. And engaging even on LinkedIn with these different coaches has just really been liberating. So I just want to say thank you to Coaching Minds for that, because it was the community that has kept me, and I was just blown away by it.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Ed. That really means a lot. And I really appreciate how active you are in our hub. And I really love to go in there and just to see our coaches connecting and helping each other, supporting each other. There is a good feel just of how everybody connects together. So thank you for being part of that. And thank you for all the value that you give, both through our platform and then also all the stuff, the amazing stuff I see you do on LinkedIn as well. It's really, really wonderful. So thank you for that. And then I've just got one more question for you before I ask a little bit more about your goals and where you plan to take your, you talked about EMCC accreditation and taking your coaching practice further. So before we explore those goals, just an open, honest question. I know you've shared a lot of good words about us, but would you recommend Coaching Minds to a friend and be open and honest? And if so, why? And if not, why not?
Yeah. So for me, it's always a yes, right? There's no reason for me to say why not, because it ticks all the boxes that I was looking for, but actually exceeded my expectations. And I've already recommended Coaching Minds in talking when I go to different conferences, because there's a lot of people out there who are a little bit confused about coaching accreditation. And there's a lot of courses, especially here in Ireland, and a lot of colleges and universities that provide those, but they're very expensive. You're looking at the region of like €2,000-3,000 to sit a course, and you get your EMCC, and that's just the starting to move forward into the different levels and grades. So sometimes that, as you mentioned from the beginning, sometimes that affordability piece just takes away the option then for somebody to become a coach, right? So Coaching Minds for me just enables people to step into that space. And for me, coaching, the more coaches that we can get that lead with integrity, that lead with compassion, that lead with gratitude, the better our community will be. So, what I love about Coaching Minds as well, and even just the coaching industry that I'm part of, is that we don't compete against each other, right? It's about a community of coaches who add value in different ways, right? And there is some clients that I will have chemistry calls with that I may not be suited for. So, I always then maybe signpost them to Coaching Minds, where there's a coach there that might be able to kind of look after their needs. But yeah, so for me, I'd highly recommend Coaching Minds. And on the downside, I don't have any, Paul. I'm not just saying that because I'm standing here or sitting here in front of you. It's just there's no downside. Like when it comes to the monthly fee, it's super cheap for me. And what I get in return, I would pay that without actually having the course. I'd pay it just for the community piece and everything else, and some of the content that you share. That's valuable to me because, I'm very much into reading, and I buy 2 or 3 books every month. That this would also be part of my investment in me, right? So they're kind of all the things that I would share with somebody who's looking to get into the coaching field, but is put off, or a barrier for them sometimes initially is the money, and this Coaching Minds allows them to step into that.
No, thank you again for such powerful and kind words. I really, really appreciate that, Ed. And I think it's another thing I really resonate with you and our coaches is we don't compete. We're all about collaboration. We're all about community coming together, helping, supporting each other. How do we become the best version of ourselves? And how can we collectively come together to make the world a better place, our profession a better place? And I think that really shows with a lot of the coaches that we have at Coaching Minds, and you being one of them. So thank you for the contributions that you give around that. But let's have Coaching Minds now. Let's go back to you, Ed. So you're working towards your EMCC accreditation. You've been doing coaching for around 2 years now, but you've got lots of experience in the corporate world and helping develop individuals at senior manager level. What is your goal? What's the goals for your coaching practice within the next year or two?
Yeah, for me is to continue learning, right? There's so much that coaching involves, and I'm just like a sponge. I feel like I'm a child again, and every new framework or every new model, I love soaking it up. But I do like to put my own spin on it then as well, right? I do respect the different frameworks, but I will take pieces based on the client's needs, right? Because not every framework will suit a client. So I'm very much into what I call chemistry calls, is to make sure that we're aligned with our values. So I always offer them initially first. So at the moment, because I do still work full-time in the corporate environment, I suppose my biggest challenge now is time. So I try to be disciplined as much as I can, and to invest 10 to 15 hours per week in coaching. And I do have a couple of clients that I work with based on the timeframes that I can offer. But my ultimate goal in, say, 1 to 3 years is hopefully be working in this kind of area in a kind of a full-time capacity. If that's facilitation, if that's coaching one-to-one, if that's group coaching, that's where I see myself. You said something that really resonates with me, and maybe 10 or 15 years ago, before I went on this kind of self-discovery of who I was, I probably never really understood what the best version of yourself looks like, and I'm working my way towards that. So the best is yet to come is my phrase that I continuously use, right? And I'll never stop learning. I'm a lifelong learner. I just love reading. I love going back doing courses, and for me, my next step is just to enjoy the moments, being present in my coaching journey for now. But I do have like a vision, and I visualize that and I manifest that. And hopefully in 1 to 3 years' time that I can give back even more to the coaching community. That's what you mentioned a little bit about what Coaching Minds does. And I suppose why it resonated with me so much is because that's been my vision for a long time, is that, we're all here to support each other and all here to help each other. And how do we do that is by really listening to individuals and by creating a safe space for them to step into some of their kind of challenges or even opportunities. And I just love that. I just love holding that space. I love just being curious. I love not having all the answers, because I don't need to have the answers. What I need to have is, the the bravery on my side to challenge with questions and my individual, because I owe that to them, right? They're coming to me to grow and develop, and I owe it to them to challenge them as well, right? Because if coaching was easy, everybody would do coaching, and coaching isn't necessarily that easy, right? It can be a challenging space, but it's a space that I absolutely adore. And hopefully in a year to 3 years' time, I'll have more time to invest in this. But I won't stop at EMCC. I'll probably move up through those different levels. But I'm not somebody who also is motivated by, let's say, badges, or what we call them, medal of honors, right? They're great to back up your accreditation, and it shows that you've gone through certain rigor. But I also still believe it's the human being that you connect with is the main qualities, right? So my values will always guide me. And that's a big piece for me is, my kind of niche kind of area that I work with is a lot of emerging leaders, and also working with people who want to really step into their value sets, or, want to explore that a little bit further, while also looking at kind of their limiting beliefs, right? So they're the kind of areas that I would love to invest further in, and I'll probably go back and do a couple of the John DeMartini value courses that I can come in accredited values coach, and that's just a space that really, really makes me passionate. So I hope that answers a bit of your question. But the world changes constantly. That I just take it day by day. I love being in this space. I stay present, and I'm just so fortunate that I get to meet and connect with people like yourself, but then other people within our community, and then other communities that I built here in Dublin as well. I meet with like a lot of different coaches, and something reassuring, and I suppose I'll use the word loving, is that you get to meet people who are having the same challenges and struggles you do. And sometimes you can get caught up in your own head so much, even as a coach, that when you meet people who are in this area and who are like-minded, who have the same struggles and challenges, it just really pushes me forward, right? So yeah, hope that answers a little bit of where I see myself in the next year to 3 years. So
no, it does indeed. You're doing some fantastic work, lots of fantastic work to come. And I really like how you said you're a sponge, you take everything in. It's really great to be at that level, to really just enjoy learning and growing. And you give so much as well. So, my reading list has grown by the books that you've suggested in our hub. And I always take a lot from what you post and your thoughts and your reflections on things. So, you take a lot, but you also give so much as well. In terms of value. So thank you again, Ed. And just one final question, just for everybody who's tuning and watching. Where's the best place for people to contact you, connect with you? Is it LinkedIn, another platform? Where would you prefer us to send people?
Yeah, so my preferred kind of avenue on social media is LinkedIn. Not just because I work for LinkedIn, I was obsessed with LinkedIn before that. I love the environment. What I love is the engagement, and the different thought processes, but also connecting with like-minded people, but also not like-minded people, because I love to get different perspectives as well, because sometimes that helped me challenge myself. But yes, Ed Stanley on LinkedIn, you will find me there. Or on Instagram is my other one, which is coached.ie, and that's my website as well, coached.ie. So you'll find me in those 3 locations, but mainly on LinkedIn every day. You'll see me there. So
excellent. We'll put all 3 below in the comments box so people can
brilliant.
access you as well. So Ed, I want to say thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know you're really busy, you've got a lot going on. So thank you for your time today. It's been really brilliant to talk to you. Thank you for all the kind words, and thank you for sharing with the audience the plans that you have over the next year or 2 with your coaching. It's been really great. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you, Paul. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you. And a huge thank you to everybody who's watching as well. Thank you for tuning in, and please do connect with Ed below. Thank you.